All right, happy Father's Day to all you studs out there. The Chief and I are recovering from being out of town and time zone changes, but don't worry because TSG and the Pooh Bear got our backs. We have plenty to talk about. We're going to talk about foreign substances in Major League Baseball pitching. The Rays are on a wicked losing streak right before Boston comes into town. The Lightning have a series tied in a tough battle and more. Our level of dedication is unmatched because we are here for you on a holiday. No doubt it's Sunday because now it's time for the main event.
Man, Kiermaier's on second. We can't get him in.
No costumes. No
it's a holiday.
Just the beard. That's the costume.
That is. I kind of like it though, man. I feel like rugged castaway look, man. I like.
What has TSG got there?
I'm trying to cool down the Lightning, kid, because they are hot.
Well, then why would you want to cool them down?
Cool them down.
For real. Cool down the Islanders. My goodness.
Right.
Well, listen here, you bunch of studs. Except TSG.
You're out of form,
Happy Father's Day, guys.
Hey, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
So, what did everybody spend their day doing here on this Father's Day?
Relaxing. Didn't
Go,
do much.
Maxing all cool.
Max and relax. Yeah, woke up to pancakes being cooked for me, and it's kind of vegged out, man. Didn't do much.
Tell me there was some sausage or bacon with those pancakes. Not just
there
pancakes.
was not, and that's okay. It was just pancakes. I'm
pancakes.
perfectly happy with that.
I
had my wife and daughter made lasagna for me for lunch, and banana pudding, of course.
Ooh.
Wow, I can't wait to tell you about my lunch today.
Yeah,
That's
about it.
Let's hear it. Go, B-Love.
That's been about it. Well, first of all, so I got this shirt. It says Bank of Dad,
which is
open 24/7. And I found this hat just in my closet. It says World's Best Dad. You can't see the world's best part. Like literally looking for a different hat to wear for the show, I came across this hat. I figured it was appropriate for today. But my lunch no one will be able to compare to this. I made fried bologna sandwiches.
I mean, you've been talking about that all week, man.
You made them.
Something I know about fried bologna sandwiches is when you start frying bologna, they cup up like a bowl.
Oh, dude, you gotta cut the Pac-Man. You gotta cut the Pac-Man in the bologna.
Yeah,
right. So you put a knife,
or you can fill it with mashed potatoes and cheese. I'm just saying.
But why? You're fully employed. Why would you have to eat fried bologna?
Dude, I love fried bologna, man. Yeah, fried up. And then here's the crazy part too. I actually made the fried bologna on my Joe. So I have the Half Moon griddle plate.
Yeah.
I got the Joe up to about 300 degrees and I cooked the fried bologna on that so it wouldn't smell up the whole house, with the fried bologna smell. And so I topped that off with, I've spent most of my day before the Rays came on watching reruns of The West Wing, like my favorite television show of all time.
Do you need to borrow some steaks? I mean, is this a financial crisis? Do you need some New York strips? I've got in my freezer. Maybe a ribeye.
I'm good.
You fired up your Joe, your Kamado Joe, to cook pressed meat.
Yeah,
it was delicious. Here's the thing. I've decided, because of the intrigue that you guys all have right now, when football season starts on one of the
don't
Sundays
you dare!
at my house,
do not. I will leave.
I'm making y'all fried bologna sandwiches.
I'm leaving. I'll leave, or I won't eat.
Bologna's bad.
Dude,
you got to peel the string off the outside of it to cook it.
Bro, that is chicken anus and hogs.
No, dude. I only eat all beef. I only eat all beef bologna.
That's bikini bologna is what that is.
Bikini bologna?
Yes. When you got to peel the string off.
Oh, you got to pull the G-string.
Oh, man.
Chief, what do you got?
Oh, man. So my Father's Day, you guys are going to get the benefit from a present. And that's that the kids got me these, they're football ice cube makers, but they make large cubes in the shape of footballs. And they're pretty good size too. So I tested one out, this first thing this morning, I get this thing and I got 8 of them, by the way. So it's 2 apiece if doing the math correct. So they're pretty cool. And the laces came out real good on it. And so I just got to figure out how to get the water a little less cloudy in them. And then the kids took me to an escape room. So the one up in town. Yeah. Did you make we get in there. It's a Wild West theme, which I thought was appropriate since we just came back from the West. And I was feeling pretty good. It was a bank heist we had to pull off. Here's what was pretty cool about
I've done that one. I've done that one.
So like at the beginning, no lie, dude, I was absolutely confused on how to put didn't fall into the rhythm. The kids got off to a good start, and then Lisa steps in. She had a good run at the end. Man, I found it. I was like, here we go. I'm seeing it, we're pulling it together. We got like 3 minutes left, and boom, solve it. We run out the door, and I turn around, and we have left the bag of money in the behind.
What?
So you got out.
We got out. We escaped, but we left the money in the bank.
Dude, there's a challenge, okay? How your family works together, or how you operate, how you and your wife are, is you go into an escape room. So I've talked to some of these people that run these rooms, and they're like, "Oh, I've seen marriages ruined."
Wow.
They come out to this escape room and they're like, I hate you. I've always hated you. You're like, what? It was just supposed to be fun. Yeah, so bad. But apparently you guys have an awesome family.
Well, it took us all, by the time we got out, it was 59 minutes and change, but it was close. But we did it. We did it. Got the sign to prove it.
Nice job. Nice job.
Yeah.
I took Pops fishing today.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. We went out. We went fishing, and Dad caught all the fish as usual. And so I bring the bait, and Dad's like, go right over here. Points to an area. We go over there. I throw mine out, and Dad throws his out. And Dad catches the fish. He caught 5 to my 1. So,
what were you guys catching?
Grouper and ladyfish. Dad caught some catfish as well. It wasn't a great day for the fish you would actually take home and eat. But we caught some fish. It wasn't a skunk. You never want a skunk day. And
sharks.
Are you going to eat the grouper?
We saw manatees. No. Yeah. The grouper. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Grouper's good. Excellent grouper. And hey, happy Father's Day to you, Dad, if you're watching this. I don't know if he's watching this, but
I wasn't sure what he's doing there. I thought he was looking up in the sky.
Yeah.
Like he was,
Speaking of which,
on the boat.
yeah.
Speaking of which, Friday night I had dinner with my sisters and my family, my mom and dad, and I think the Rays just lost. Oh no, they got him out. Okay, good. And my sister's telling me that she watches all of these shows.
Wow.
She watched them all back to back. I'm like, I don't even watch them all back to back.
Wow.
So, Jennifer, thank you. There's
Yeah.
a special shout out to my sister. How about that?
I have some friends and some family that surprise me too, and they're like, "Oh, you guys should do this and do that," and I'm like, "You're watching the show? Oh, cool, thanks, awesome."
She said she was laughing hysterically that Cliff couldn't figure out his garage door opener.
Wow. Well, she would have loved being in the green room earlier when Cliff was trying to figure out how to share a YouTube
video.
Oh,
Yes,
my
exactly.
Hey, can you guys show me real quick?
Hey, the fact that I'm here, that I'm live every Sunday is a miracle in and of itself, man.
Yes, it is.
I like the scruff, Chief.
Oh man,
Dude, man, that's a vacation scruff right there.
That
Hey,
sure
did
is.
you happen to roll anything in roulette? Did you win any money?
Oh, listen, dude. By the way, okay.
Boy.
So we get there on Tuesday. We roll into town late Tuesday night because we've had a long couple of days ahead of us. So we don't play any games on Tuesday. Wednesday though, Wednesday, I'm up. I only have a few minutes, to play. Dude, I score a quick $200. I'm up 200. I'm like, guys, this is fantastic.
Yes.
Thursday comes along, and I'm like, oh, here's the roulette wheel. Well, let's put the TSG method into play. It's like 3 red in the row. Okay. So I tell Lisa,
supposed to be 5.
Yeah, well, guess what?
Okay.
Not enough. So spoiler alert. So we go down there and we put 25, nothing. So now we go 50, stay on red. We put a 50 on.
Yep.
Nothing. Throw 100 on. Nothing. Throw 200 on. Nothing. Let's put it this way. By the time everything's said and done, all my winnings are gone. I'm in the whole $200, man. I said, oh, this sucks. And so, a couple more times. I'm not a huge fan of losing. I mean, if I'm gambling and winning, I'm okay. But the minute I start losing, I'm out, man. That's not for me to give it away. So, we're the last day. Was it Friday? Friday. We're taking a tours of casinos. We're walking through. B-Love is just walking through a casino, turning 10s into 20s every time he hits a roulette wheel.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. So we get to this one wheel, and it's got like 10 reds in a row. And I was like, all right, this is my chance here, So I try to put 10 on black. I make a mistake. That's no lie, right? And I put it on red, and it hits.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, oh, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. So I'm going to double my money. I'll put my 20 now on black like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And it goes red for like the 12th time in a row. And I said, look, if I can't win after 12 reds in a row, it's just not meant for me. So I had to take my loss, hang my head low, and walk out.
Wow.
What was it? I get a text message from him. I think it was Friday morning. And it was something along the lines of Novavax is tanking. The casinos turned on me. And I don't know what the third one was, but it was like 3 things that had gone bad in a row.
Well,
And
what went bad in one time in a row is, the Lightning, they actually barely lost last night. That was kind of tough, but they took one on the road. So now they have the home field advantage back. What do you think?
I think at this point, home ice advantage doesn't seem to matter.
No.
Now, this stage of the game, it is about effort and mental toughness. And last night, the Lightning did not have mental toughness in the second period. They gave up 3 goals. 2 of them were extremely soft.
Yeah.
That one with Braden Point didn't have a stick was absolutely atrocious.
Terrible.
And I know he didn't want that to happen, but he knows he made a mistake. There's nothing you're going to be able to say to him on the sidelines and to fix that, right? That's just a mental error.
He's got to go put a body on that guy. Just a body.
Absolutely.
He
knows that.
Just
he
a
knows
body.
that. That's not even a coaching opportunity. He already knows what he did wrong. He knows how to fix it. I promise you, it'll probably never happen again, kind of thing. You paid a very high price for that. But the fact that they were able to come back in the third period and score a couple goals and nearly score a third in the last 5 seconds, that maroon spinorama was just a thing of beauty. And the defenseman that came in to block that's just all-world effort. He was actually made 3rd star of the game, I believe, for that block. But just such a tense game. Stanley Cup playoff hockey is the most intense, stressful sport there is.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What were you going to say,
So I haven't caught any of the last 3 games, so I can't really comment on how the Lightning are playing or what they look like right now. But I would say that I think we're dissing off home ice advantage a little too quickly. I think that you put a bunch of Lightning fans in an arena in a must-win game, and it makes a difference. The emotion and the energy of it does make a difference.
Maybe in a game 7, but so far, the Lightning have won on the road. They've won at home. The opposing teams have won on the road. They've won at home.
But they've also won.
It's about 50-50.
They've also, and let me be careful as I say this, but they've also won some series somewhat easily. Like none of these series have they been at 2-2, right? This is the closest the team has played us in the playoffs so far. When you're going into home ice advantage and it's 3-1, it's that home ice advantage, that crowd, that noise, that energy is not as a big deal as it is in a we've got to win the next game. And I always believe whether it's baseball, hockey, whatever, anytime the NBA, Chief, anytime you're in a series, it's a best of 5 or a best of 7. When you get into a situation like this where it's tied 2-2, every game now is a must win.
Yep.
Because you don't want to make it to a game 7.
So there's a couple of things here to what you're saying there. And one is when you talk about home ice advantage, when you talk about the crowd, right? Last night when they were singing the national anthem, the girl that was singing the national anthem in the Coliseum at Long Island last night began singing it, and then the crowd was singing so loud that she stopped and basically did what great performers do, and she just kind of held out the mic.
That's awesome.
And let the crowd almost sing a big portion of the song by themselves, and she came in at the very end where it builds up and it gets big, and she sang with them.
Yeah,
they did that a few weeks ago. It was very good.
It was really emotional. It was very good, and it was something
and these are the last games at this, they call it the barn, at this arena. This arena is a classic arena, and it is being done. This is probably the next game. Hopefully, if the Lightning win, it'll be the last game played in the barn. So there's a lot of sentiment going on from the fans. That energy you're talking about, beloved, the kind of the intangible crowd noise. Well, I guess crowd noise is tangible, but that whole aspect of it is amplified because of this final finality of it.
Yes. Yeah. And I think to that point, the thing that we have on our side there is we have a pretty nice record of closing down sports facilities.
Yes. It's what, as a city, yes.
Yes, we do. And quite honestly, when you talk about, so I agree with Pooh Bear too. I was very disappointed in that second period. They were not beating those guys to the pucks. I saw a lot of lazy effort out there. And I went, oh my God, what are they doing right now? They
were the kind of stuff you saw in game 1.
Yeah, it was after the first score. They got the first score. And I don't know if everyone knows out there as fans, is that every series, the team to score first in this series has won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Every game in the series. So the team that has scored first. So I don't know if those guys checked out afterwards, because then they checked back in the third period apparently and decided, you know what? No, we're not going to go out like that. And I went to bed at the fire station, and then I'm hearing, I hear people screaming, oh, it's 3-2. So I come back out only to find nothing else happens for the end of the game. Mm-hmm. But I was proud of their effort. And Pooh Bear, what happened at the end, man? There was some exciting stuff.
Yeah. So when the doggone it, I'm so done with Diego Castillo. Gives up a grand.
He gave up a grand slam.
Yes. Bases loaded, bottom of the 10th, 2 outs. And
he didn't just give up
we just had this conversation.
He just
about
loaded the bases too. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. Not only did he give up the grand slam, but he had to load the bases first.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
like
you're right, B-Love. We had this conversation last week about this guy.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get to this conversation in a minute. Let's finish this conversation about Lightning. So let me ask you guys a question real quick. And TSG, I know you had a question for Pooh Bear, but so I'm a Lightning fan. I'm not necessarily a huge follower of the NHL. So you guys tell me this: are these two teams pretty evenly matched?
Skill level, no. The Lightning have more skilled position players. The discipline and the type of hockey that the Islanders play is not a good match for the Lightning. The Lightning kind of play a loosey-goosey, kind of a maverick kind of style where everybody is a danger at any point in time. Whereas the Islanders play any given line is a danger at any given time. The 3 forwards they have on each line are so well disciplined in their roles and responsibilities that it makes it very frustrating to a team like the Lightning, who are just trying to send a winger in and get a nifty shot, a snipe shot real quick, but you can't when the other line's in the way. They're in position where they're supposed to be. They stay home. The Islanders don't have a problem playing within their ability. So man for man, the Lightning on paper, much better skill positions and players, but the Islanders are just playing a much better fundamental type of hockey.
So right now it sounds like the Islanders have the better game plan.
Yes, and they're making the better adjustments.
Being outmatched, they're having the better. So will just will to win. Will this series come down to just a will to win? Who wants it more?
So, B-Love, think about this. When the Blue Jackets beat us in that year that we supposedly had the best team ever assembled, right?
When the President's
Trophy beat us in the first round of the playoffs. Some of that was from inexperience. A lot of guys being their first time in the playoffs. They were caught off guard. There's so many things to that. But so imagine a team that plays that structured, because the only way you beat a team like that is you play what Torts, our old coach, made those guys play. He said, if you play the kind of defense and the kind of structure that I tell you to play, and you don't fault, and you give everything that you possibly have, you can beat these guys. Because what they do is they never get out of position, like Pooh Bear said. And what happens is they wait for you to make a mistake. And then when you make that mistake on your offensive end in the central, in the zone, they take off with the puck, and they've got a one-on with goalie, and they score on you. Next thing you know, you're behind. It's very, very hard. So the reason I went to bed last night is because when we went 3-0 down on the Islanders and the kind of structure and defense they play, I said, there's no chance they win this game. I'm going to go catch some shut-eyes so I can fish with my dad tomorrow and be awake. And, that's why I did that, because, and in the end, they did something that most teams don't do, and they made it a 3-2 game, and they did some pretty spectacular stuff at the end, which shows to their talent, because they are amazing. They are probably the most amazing talent that's ever sat on the floor together at one time, offensively,
player by player. I believe you're right.
Right, but structurally, they need to, and they can turn it on. They did it last year when they have to play that one game, that defensive game where they don't get out of line. They do stay structured. They can do it. It's just a lot of times they're going to make you take them to the last thing. Okay, all right, we're going to do it.
Yeah. And the other thing that the Islanders are doing really well is they know that the Lightning's strength is playing on the power play. When the Lightning have you at a man advantage, they are lethal. I mean, I think their percentages of scoring on the power play is something ridiculous that it's unheard of. So the Islanders, in turn, have been coached by Barry Trotz, their coach, to stay out of the penalty box. They're not committing dumb penalties. They're not getting caught with their stick high. They're not getting caught with their stick in a tripping scenario. So they're staying out of the penalty box. They're making the Lightning play 5-on-5 hockey, which is exactly what they need in order to win. If they get in penalty trouble, the Lightning are going to walk them. So they do that, it's over. But it's tough. The Lightning has some adjustments to make tomorrow.
When's the next game? Tomorrow night.
Yeah, they're pretty much on the every other night path right now.
All right. So
speaking, one game at home, one game back there, and then one game back at our home, depending on.
Well, let's hope we close the barn with an L.
Oh, that'd be so great
on them, just like we did Philadelphia, Rondé Barber style.
Before we move on, Chef Javi.
I saw
nice beard, Cliff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, Javier.
It's here for the show. Then it's got to go.
It was much better than the mustache that he grew.
Hey, when I see Chief's beard, all I can think of is milk was a bad choice.
All right, so guys, speaking of adjustments, our Tampa Bay Rays are on a bit of a cold streak. Today was the 6th straight loss. I believe of this 6-game losing streak, 3, if not 4 of the games we've lost an extra inning.
Extra innings, yeah.
Right. We talked last week about, hey, is Diego Castillo our closer? I think the guy's answering that question for us. But what in the world is going on with this baseball team?
I'd say it's the offense more than it is the pitching. I mean, yes, he gave up the booty there in the bottom of the 10th, but the team only scored 2 runs.
Is it the Glasnow effect?
It's possible. I mean, that was some devastating news. And actually, there was actually some good news on that later in the week where it's not a complete tear. So it may actually heal itself with some light throwing reps and some, I guess massaging. I don't know what the
Well, hold on though. So this is a ligament tear in his elbow, right?
Yes, it's
I mean,
a strain. I believe it's a strain now.
Okay,
Not,
I was gonna say,
not an
'cause
actual
Chief,
tear.
tell me if I'm wrong. A torn ligament requires repair. It doesn't heal itself. And I'm asking the Chief because he's the only medic I know on
Yeah,
the
well,
show
it
here.
is.
Well,
It's
TSG's
close.
also a medic.
Hey, I'm a
Oh,
medic.
TSG's okay.
These things, so technically a strain is a tear. Okay, it's just not. It's these things are all fibrous, right? So
Yeah,
when
well,
you
like
strain
but it doesn't grow back.
it will. A strain will. A strain, you've got fibers and stuff, and they've stretched longer than they want to. But they do have blood supply to them, not like you would do with muscles, but they do have blood supply. They do repair themselves to a certain extent. Now, when you sever it like this, that's not going to fix itself.
Right.
That's where you got to go in and put it back together.
And this one apparently is close enough to the bone where that is advantageous as opposed to being in the middle of the strand. So
most of the time when these things tear, I do like this. That's really a bad example. They don't actually, the tendons and the ligaments don't tear; they pull off the bone.
Yeah.
So I tore my bicep, 6-7 years ago, and when I say I tore my bicep, what really happened is the tendon tore off the bone, and then to fix it, they go in and they put a pin through the bone and glued it back in, and now I've got this small piece of metal that held it in place until the glue set or it grew back into the bone.
So your point there, Pooh, what you're asking is, as far as blood flow, I had a tear, I had an ACL replacement. I had an actual entire replacement put in there. And I also had a meniscus tear that went deep into the middle of where the meniscus is on my right knee. And the surgeon said, listen, this is a bad area because it's so deep into the middle. He goes, it's hard to heal because there's not a lot of blood flow. So I'm going to spin some blood, some plasma and some blood. And when we do the surgery, I'm going to put it all over there so that it initiates some healing and helps it. And it worked for me, luckily. But to your point, the further outside that tear is, what you're saying, it is more advantageous because of the blood flow that does go to that area.
Okay. So maybe that's the type of rehab they're talking about, but they're thinking that with this non-surgery and just some rehab and conditioning, he could be back by before the playoffs.
Playoffs, right? And so that's why I was asking is, those questions is if at some point he's got to have Tommy John, are you better off just having it now?
That's kind of my philosophy.
Because if you at least then he's got a somewhat of a chance of pitching in 2022. If we wait too long, he doesn't pitch this year or 2022.
Yeah, which surprises me because the Rays typically will not sign or trade for a player that has not already had Tommy John. That is kind of their MO.
But they love to sign the guys who have.
Yes, they want you to have already had.
They love guys with Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, whether it been 10 years ago or 5 years ago or a year ago, they want you to have it done so they don't have to worry about it. Now they know they have a product that is,
which tells you how good the surgery is.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So here's my problem with Glasnow. Hold on. Here's my problem with Glasnow. Glasnow is actually blaming his injury on the fact that he's not allowed to use the sunscreen anymore. He's getting some balls. Okay, I got a lot of problems here. I got one of them is the fact that he was using sunscreen anyway. I mean, the baseball rules are very clear. No foreign substance. It lists a whole ton of them, but and it doesn't say sunscreen on there. It says a bunch of other stuff on there, but then it says no foreign substance. It was clear that he was breaking the rule, and he knew he was breaking the rule for his own advantage. Secondly, as a fan, I don't want to watch a 1-0 baseball game. That is not exciting baseball to watch. I want to watch a game where balls are being hit, defenses are making plays, outfielders are catching balls, maybe some home runs or base runners. That's what I want to see as a fan. And when you get a guy out there who's just dominating, and as much as I am a fan of Glasnow because he's on our side of the mound, that the fact is that's not how baseball is meant to be played. He shouldn't be doing it. I know Rich Hill came out and he's talking about it as well. He's saying something kind of similar lines. He's like, hey man, more injuries to follow if we're not allowed to do this. No. More hits are going to come. Pitchers need to learn how to pitch, without causing injury, or I mean, the fact of the matter is every pro has a life cycle. If you can't pitch at 45, you can't pitch at 45. There's a lot of things that apparently I like to do that I'm not supposed to do either anymore. I'm just don't get paid for them. So
we talked about on one of the older shows how the Rays. I think I talked with you guys about the Big Dog, who was a Tampa radio host for a long time, and he was a great host, and he really, really had a lot of knowledge with regard to baseball. He researched it, and he would go over things in writing. He would read the actual documents online with everybody while the radio show was going on. So what I'm getting at is he talked about how the Rays had a really high rate of guys who would throw the slider. The Rays love the slider, but that pitch is very, very hard on the elbow. Okay, and you'll see that almost all of our pitchers have gone down. I mean, name a pitcher. Maybe Archer didn't. I'm not sure. But a lot of our pitchers had problems, had to go through a surgery when we went into this realm of throwing that slider so much, and it became one of the things that we teach, and it becomes a what do you call it? One of our basic pitches.
Yeah. So what's interesting to me is, we're talking about, Major League Baseball sent a letter, I believe, last week to clubs warning them that they were going to start enforcing this foreign substance rule. Mm-hmm. Listen, just learning the knowledge of them having to do that, I was pretty surprised, because I can remember pitchers getting thrown out of games and suspended for getting caught with foreign substances, but it's been a long time. But apparently this had become such a norm that everybody is out there doing it because nobody's enforcing it.
Literally everybody. There are zero pitchers not using the sunscreen and rosin and sweat method. Zero.
Yeah.
The rosin is legal. It's on the back of the mound.
Correct. Right. And sweat's legal because it's on there. It's on your arm.
Right.
It doesn't take much.
Substance. It's not a foreign substance. That's allowed.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of it.
The pine tar was the big one, remember.
Well, it was pine tar, sandpaper, it was Vaseline,
emery paper. Yeah. A lot of it had to do with roughing the ball up or being able to dig in a little bit.
It's 100% to do with roughing the ball up. The problem with the baseball, and it's not hard to find these video discussions about this. The baseball comes very slick. Then Major League Baseball goes and puts this Mississippi mud on the baseball, right? But it's not applied. What's the word I'm looking for? Completely the same everywhere.
Correct. Yeah.
Can't think of the word. Anyway,
uniformly.
Thank you. Uniformly. So Tampa may have a dugout manager rub up the balls 2 days before. Boston may have a ball boy rub up the balls the night before. New York may have a trainer rub the balls 2 weeks before. There's no consistency with how this is done. So when they're done too early, then the ball the mud turns to dust. So now you have a slick, dusty ball. You cannot throw a slick, dusty ball with any kind of accuracy. You're going to hit someone in the head, just like we had 2 weeks ago with Kevin Pillar. Giancarlo Stanton getting his face broken. Any number of players have been hit in the head recently. It is not what anybody wants. The union players had a phone call with over, I think Glasnow said 30 or 40 players involved, pitchers and hitters both. They all said to a person, keep rubbing sun lotion, rosin, whatever you need to do to get the ball over the plate. They are okay with it. They want this to happen because it's a safety issue.
Well, or you could slow down the velocity of your fastball or whatever.
It's not about that. It's about the grip. It's about the grip.
I know, but what I'm arguing, Pooh Bear, is if I'm not trying to throw 99 and I'm just trying to throw 90, I'm going to have a little bit, you tend to get wild the harder you're going to throw.
Yes, you're right. But you're also going to have a 40 to 25 game. I mean, they're going to hit every ball over the fence.
Yeah. Not every ball. But if you go back and watch pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, last name started with a G.
Tom Glavine.
Tom Glavine. He did not throw the ball that hard. It was his placement, and that's something that that's the art of pitching that's been taken away.
You're thinking of Maddox.
I think you're thinking of Maddox. Yeah.
I am thinking of Maddox. It's the other guy that started with a G, Maddox. So that's who it is.
Greg. Greg's the G. Greg Maddox.
Greg Maddox. Bingo. There we go. We're getting there.
Yes. You're right. Some pitchers have the ability to locate and be effective. Pitchers,
yeah, but that's what baseball has lost.
But if you told me tonight, if Greg Maddox came out tonight and said, "Oh yeah, here's the substances I used," I would not be surprised.
So, okay, if you go back 100 years, these guys were placing the ball too. I mean, Babe Ruth was playing it. They weren't using sunscreen.
They were using spitballs. They were using Vaseline. They were using whatever they get their hands on.
But potentially,
and the balls weren't rubbed down with this special mud.
The rule has been on the books forever. You cannot.
I understood. I understand the rule and the enforcement of the rule. I have a problem with them coming in, just like Glasnow, having a problem coming with them in the middle of the season, saying, "Hey, we're going to enforce this rule now."
I think that's where I'm at. Glasnow came out this week
and said, it's up to the umpire. So Trevor Bauer did a fantastic 20-minute talk on this. And if you don't, Trevor Bauer is a Cy Young Award. He's defending Cy Young winning in the NL. Fantastic pitcher. He does a fantastic job with the YouTube channel. He's very outspoken and very controversial because of that. But his little bit he does on I don't have a baseball here, but he shows you what it's like. He takes some rosin and sweat, puts it on the ball, holds his hand like this, and the ball is just sitting there. He goes, "Now you tell me that what I just did, according to the rule, is 100% legal. The ball's still sitting here, by the way, right? It hasn't moved yet." He said, "You tell me how an umpire with no sticky police training is going to tell me whether that's illegal or legal." All right.
Well, I don't know. These umpires don't have training on it. I mean, these are professional umpires.
The fact is, the umpire can't tell. So he's going to suspend a guy for 10 games and affect his team's position and his livelihood and all that because he can't tell whether or not he used pine tar, spider tack, or just good old sweat and rosin. So that's the problem with the rule.
The difference. I mean,
he just showed you.
He showed you what rosin does. He doesn't show you what the other stuff does and how it applies.
I don't know if he did in that video. He may do it another one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're about to see because this rule goes into enforcement tomorrow.
Yeah, they're going to start checking closers and starters.
No, they're gonna check starters at least once a game, and when they leave. So you're getting checked twice. Catchers, by the way, are also getting checked. And I just read it. When you come into the game as a pitcher, you will be checked. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of checking going on. It's like going through the airport.
Again, by umpires.
What they're looking for is like, did you put it in your hat? Is it in the glove?
Right.
There's places that you can hide that stuff.
Oh, they have it all over. It's inside the belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. We lose Glasnow. We don't know for how long. At the very least, he doesn't come back until the playoff run. They're going to insert Waka into the rotation in his place. He was kind of being our long guy, or he was coming in after the opener quite a bit.
Yep.
Yo, where's Chris Archer?
Where is Chris Archer? He has played one inning all season. Baseball. I know he left with a strain, and then there was I think he had a death in the family or something, so he went to go fix, help with that. But I haven't seen him in the dugout. I haven't seen him in the bullpen. I haven't seen him on any team planes. I follow a lot of this. In fact, I follow Chris Archer on Instagram. I haven't seen any of his posts lately. Very interesting.
So, I mean, the interesting thing about I'm not saying that he is Glasnow, but we really could use him in the rotation.
He's an experienced starter.
Yeah,
right?
We could really lose him in the rotation. But Pooh Bear, I think you're right. I tried to pull up, how many runs we scored on our last 6 losses. It hasn't been very many.
No. So right now the pitching is not the problem. Okay, it's a problem because the bullpen's going to get tired.
I was going to say the bullpen is kind of giving up the booty, specifically Castillo.
But again, when you're scoring 1 run, 2 runs, it doesn't matter if you give up 6 or 10. You only scored 1. You only scored 2. You've got to score more if you intend to win. You're not going to win many games 2-0.
So I just think that the difference between good teams and great teams is closing out a game, and I don't necessarily mean closing out a game as the pitcher, the closer. But you've got to be able to win these close games, especially when you're only putting up 2 or 3 runs a night. Yeah, and that right now, Yeah, that right now was where we're, especially when you're losing games on walk-offs. I don't know. I think I said at the beginning of the show, like 3 or 4 of the last 6 games has either been extra innings, but I think in all of those cases, because we're on the road right now, those are walk-off losses.
Yeah, I think 3 of these Seattle Mariner losses were walk-offs. 3 of them.
Yeah.
This team lost a spark when we got rid of Adames.
Here he goes with the Willie Adames.
They won like 15 games after that.
We've lost a spark. We have lost a spark.
They won 15 games in a row.
He was the biggest cheerleader out there. They have their percentage of wins has dropped significantly.
I don't think that's actually the case.
You're just saying that we need to find a spark. That was a spark.
He
was the spark.
He was a spark. I don't say he was.
The All-Star
game
game when DeFranco comes
spark.
up. When DeFranco comes up after the All-Star game, that'll be a spark.
Yeah. So just looking at it, I finally got to pull it up here on the Google webs. You know, our last couple of games, you know, we scored 2 runs today, 5 runs yesterday, 1 run the night before, 5 runs, 7 runs, and 0 runs. So in 6 of those losses, we scored less than 2. In the other 3, we scored 5 runs or more. 5 runs should be enough to win a game.
Yes, 5 and 7 should definitely win the game if your pitching is there. So clearly those were not those nights.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, I got something coming in here from. Okay, they're telling me right now. Hang on. What? Okay. What they're saying is yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're saying is that do you guys not learn your lesson? You know, the Rays always figure it out. Like they know what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. They're saying they've been doing this for how long? Okay, I got it.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, I fully agree. I know they're going to come back. That's why the pitching doesn't bother me so much, because I know that they've got Patino waiting in the wings. They've got Honeywell ready to come back from injury. You know, there's any number of pitchers down in Durham right now that could probably come up here and start and have McKay.
Yeah.
Is ready to come back.
They got moves.
So that's why Glasnow is a huge loss. He is a Cy Young. He was having a Cy Young year. He was I think he was second in the league in strikeouts. I had him picked for first. Was my bold prediction at the beginning of the season. He was clearly having a Cy Young caliber year, all-star type year, and it's gone. It's ruined. And I understand his frustrations. He's young, so he doesn't need to worry about that much. He's going to have more opportunities. But I think his production, not necessarily his skill level, can be replaced, right? So that's all I'm saying.
Hey, listen, I hate to keep bringing this up, but does anybody remember what my bold prediction was?
No, but you're going to tell us, so go ahead. Actually,
my bold prediction was that Ohtani would win American League MVP.
It's you're
just out of curiosity, who leads the American League in homers?
Vladimir Guerrero.
I think Ohtani is tied with him with 24.
Unless he hit 4 today.
So
Vladimir Guerrero was leading last night.
Yeah, let me ask you this: when you guys were out in Vegas, did you put $100 on the Rays or the Bucks to win it all? $100. That's it. $100.
If I was going to put $100 on something, I would put $100 on the Bucks to win it all. But it was only playing 9-1, so didn't really see the benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We get home
they
this
are
week.
tied. They are tied at 23. You're correct.
Yes.
How about that?
There you go.
I think what's going to be interesting is a starting pitcher is going to be in the home run derby.
Yeah.
You
could actually have 2. If you go with Jacob deGrom, who has more RBI than he does earned runs. The starting pitcher for the Mets. He has 130 some odd pitches thrown above 100 miles an hour. The next closest was Shane McClanahan with like 13.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And who was it? Who I saw last night, I didn't even see the headline, but somebody threw the fastest pitch in the league last night. It was like 104. Was that Chapman?
No, I saw that, but I'm struggling to remember who that was. It may have been DeGrom.
That's fast. So hopefully we turn things around this week. By the way, winning winning three of these games against Boston certainly puts us in a whole lot better shape in the division. But
good Lord, Ohtani's hit 6 home runs this week. That's why. That's how I didn't playing on the West Coast. You don't update these things. 6 home runs in the last 7 games. Unbelievable. He's hot.
he just needs to not get hurt, and he's the American League MVP.
Don't pitch to him.
Yeah.
Maybe.
My other bold prediction was that Willie Damas would start every game for the Rays at shortstop.
That's not going to happen.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
I'm surprised you put that out there, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, none of us
it
thought
was
he would be traded.
It was a bold prediction. All right, gentlemen, guess what time it is?
Ooh,
Favorite
I'm
part of the
fired
show.
up.
Let's do it.
Dar, dar, dar.
Whoopsie.
Can't be stupid.
All right, well, welcome to
Every
another
time.
installment of You Can't Fix Stupid. What do we have lined up this week?
You can't fix stupid government edition. The city of Bradenton, nearby to our hometown.
Brooksville.
Sold some Brooksville. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Bradenton's a county. I guess it's a city too. City of Brooksville sold a piece of property. Actually, it's been a couple of years now. The purchaser, the buyer, goes to file permits to build whatever it was he was going to build. I think it was a gym or something.
Mhm.
And the county says, "Hey, you can't build your gym here because there's a water tower on your land." He said, "What?" The county or the city accidentally sold their lot that housed their water tower, the giant towers that supply head pressure to all the people in their water system. They sold it to him accidentally.
So
This
if
is
I'm
government.
dude, I'm like, hey, you guys owe me some back rent.
Well, except for the
Not
fact
rent.
that
I'll be offered to sell it. I'll sell it back to you.
well,
But it's not going to be for.
they straightened it out, but he wasn't going to get the permits he wanted to build his business without.
Well, there's actually a business on there. There's already a building there. He just wanted to reopen it as a gym. And I was like, well, either way, you know what? Fine. You don't want to sell it. You don't want to sell me the power. I'm just going to knock it down, or I'm just not going to let you take water from my water tower. Let's talk here, man. I mean, let's make this happen. I have something you want. Apparently, my water tower.
Oh man, just a
How do they go that long not realizing that they sold the land with that thing on it?
because government, bro. There's so many people doing the same thing over and over.
I'm literally
again.
on a YouTube show right now with a bunch of government employees.
Three
who are
government
talking about
employees.
how bad government employees are.
That's
Do you
how we know.
recognize the irony in
That's
this?
how we know. That's how we know. All right, that's how we know because we've seen it. I'm not going to say exactly what I've seen because I like my job.
I have
I've
no
seen some
firsthand
stuff.
knowledge of government mistakes.
Nope.
There you
I have
go.
none.
Perfection.
Only Pooh Bear.
Yep.
Yeah, no, okay, I've never seen a one.
Well, I mean, you do have a perfect record. Every slab is intact still.
Dude, I have never lost a slab. I've saved every concrete slab that I've ever been involved with in the fire.
Oh man, so that's the bottom line is that somehow the government screwed this up, and it's been fixed, but it was a stupid mistake on the city's part. It's been done.
Dude, I'm gonna paint that water tower in big bold letters. It says Brooksville on it. How great would that have been to put your name of your gym there? I would have.
Wow.
This
That
guy's
was
name is
expensive.
Bobby Reed. I would have been like, I would have left the
Reed's
Bobby
Gym.
Reed,
The Bobby
Bobby's
Reed water
gym,
tower. Yeah.
That's a lot of money to invest in painting that thing. I bet you.
Nah, man,
And,
a couple
and
roads
again,
some
he'd
anchors.
probably have to file for permits, and again, the city would have denied him again.
Listen, I don't know that I would necessarily consider this next thing a you can't fix stupid, but it is pretty interesting. Did you guys see the story? I think it came out in just the last couple of days about the guy who invests $20 in a new cryptocurrency, wakes up one morning thinking he's now a trillionaire.
He tries to move the money. That's the best part. He's like,
Yep.
he didn't just let it ride. He's like, I'm cashing this. Oh, do you see what else he tried to do? I mean, he knows it's a mistake, right? It's a Coinbase. Am I right on that?
Rocket Bunny is the stock, but
Rocket Bunny,
Coinbase is the brokerage.
So in fairness to them, he's like, hey guys, this is probably a mistake. I'm willing to, sell this all back to you for 5 cents on the dollar. Hey, that's fair, man. That is fair.
He got very creative with his Twitter. I followed along a little bit to see what he was tweeting out, and he was being very creative. He's trying to tweet Elon Musk in there as well.
Yes.
Problem is, Elon Musk actually owns Coinbase, the wallet he was using.
So no kidding.
Yeah, so this was a Coinbase error. This was not a crypto error. This was a Coinbase's error. So the crypto wallet that he was using made the error, which is owned by Elon Musk. And Elon was not about to, come out and publicly say, yeah, I'm going to fix this or whatever. But it's a very gut-wrenching kind of a story. I would
listen.
Well, he contacted him, and he contacted him, and he says, hey, I'm trying to make a down payment on a mega yacht shaped like a penguin.
That was part of the tweet. That was his tweet.
Can we fix this? I'm waiting here.
He needs the money to put the down payment on.
Like something out of Batman in the 60s. That'd be awesome.
Shaped like a penguin. That's why I say his tweets were very funny. He's a very creative guy.
Listen, I got a couple of shares of crypto. I could really use Elon Musk sending out a well-timed tweet about. Right. Yeah, just about a time I let the stock medic suck me into that. It became
you wanted to be sucked in.
You wanted it.
You wanted to be sucked in. It's definitely had an up and down month. Crypto.
I don't know. There hadn't been a whole lot of ups. There's been some downs.
I'm up. I'm still up.
Dude, I feel this just exposes one of the problems with crypto. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not buying into it.
Well, this wasn't a problem with crypto.
It is crypto. It's just a different type of crypto.
No, it was a stock. It could have been any stock. It just happened to be a crypto stock. The fact is that Coinbase just put the decimal point in the wrong spot. He was really earned $1.5.
They missed a lot. Let me tell you, they missed it by a lot. I mean, nobody catches that.
He made $1.50.
Probably. That's probably what it was. It was probably supposed to be $1.5, not all those decimal points. And so maybe what Chief's saying is a lot of these cryptos aren't full dollars and they aren't full shares. So when you're purchasing something like Bitcoin, I don't own a full share of Bitcoin. That's what was 60 grand. Now it's 30 grand. Right.
That's a down.
So
that's a down, by the way.
I have a percentage of a share. So my percentage is 0.004 or something or another. So I can easily see how you're trying to translate a fractional share based off of my fractional dollars and give me a fractional profit. All those fractions, there's going to be a decimal point missing somewhere. So that's probably all that happened.
Somebody needs to do their 5th grade math. Hey, so listen, I can't believe this is a story we haven't talked about yet. Did you guys see the NCAA coming out saying that they're going to expand the field for the college football playoffs?
What a fantastic idea. It's like somebody said this before.
How many teams?
I believe it was 12.
Well, that's their end goal. I think they're going to 8 right now.
Or 8.
Or are they going to 12 now with the goal?
I guess really
16?
You can't. If you were going to do 12, somebody would have to have a bye. 2 teams would have to have a bye. Which
they're trying to avoid. But they are trying to. The best part is they're trying to expand this. They're having a conversation. It's happening behind closed doors. It's going to happen. That's what we need to take away from this.
I mean, this is not basketball. You're not going to have a Cinderella team that's a number 8 or 12 seed win the national championship. That's just not going to happen. There's 2. I get they want to do it.
Selfishly, I just want it for more football.
But you're going to see another blowout game. Is what you're going to see a number 1 playing a number 8, and it's going to be a blowout.
Maybe this year, but maybe next year.
National championship game.
Like the show, 8 is enough. I think 8 is enough, just like the show.
Oh no, I want to go more. Let's go 24.
Yeah, so they're definitely talking about a 12 team.
They only have 4 now. I mean, double that's 8. I feel like, you know what I mean? You start dipping past the top 8, you're kind of.
Let me tell you what this did for. I know you guys are huge NCAA men's basketball fans. Let me tell you what this has done for those programs. So programs like Gonzaga, who you would think would never have a chance at winning a national title, are now all of a sudden an annual powerhouse because of the field of 64, because they were allowed into a tournament occasionally. and they were able to recruit off of that. They were able to produce. Didn't John Stockton go there? Somebody semi-famous went to the school, came to the NBA, did a little something that encourages more people to go to the school there. So instead of having these guys lining up to get into Alabama, maybe somebody says, "Hey, I want to go to UCF or USF."
Yeah, but I will say, they have expanded that to a field now of 68, where they have play-in game.
Yeah,
right, where they have play-in games, and those play-in games so far have been garbage.
they have, but
it's been like
it may be garbage
Memphis
now.
State University.
Yeah, but and it may be garbage now, and you may not want to watch it now. But if some young man or some young woman who is deciding I'm going to go play basketball, but you're maybe not good enough to get into that top tier team, but you now exposed to this lower level team who got blown out this year.
Yes,
I'm going to go to school there.
But I think the other thing about the NCAA men's basketball tournament is that there are a number of automatic bids. So you get into that tournament two ways. You have automatic bids and you have at-large bids. Most of the automatic bids are won the conference tournament, right? Not the season. You won the conference tournament for your conference. And so to that regard, would you say, okay, the team that wins the Big Ten championship, are they automatically in the 12-team field? The team that wins the, Big Sky, are they automatically in the field? Like, how do you go to it being at large, or do you go to automatic bids? What's that look like? Because recently we've seen 2 SEC teams or 2 ACC teams in that field of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you cannot go to tournament champions because you're going to eliminate teams that, you're going to, in the SEC, we just said it, you could easily have, a number 1 team in the SEC and nationally ranked a number 4 team in the SEC. And number 4 team doesn't get out, so the number 25 seed gets in, from Big Sky or somebody, not even the top 25. I have no idea where these guys are at. But no way. I would just expand the problem what I'm already talking about. Now it's not even a contest. No one watches. Who wants to watch? Alabama completely destroy Boise Community College.
Well, that's
no
the
short
guys.
Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line?
Dude, 8 is enough. And honestly, because I don't think the number 5 seed, no one can, in the last 6-7 years, no one can make a strong argument that the number 5 team would have won who didn't get in. It's just not there.
I'd have to go back and review who they were, but I'm sure you could make an argument for it.
If it had been, I'm just basing that on the fact that there was no discussion. If it was close, say, Florida didn't make it that year, and they had they had an undefeated season, all this kind of stuff, that would have been a discussion, and it wasn't. People say, like I remember Hawaii a few years ago, Hawaii undefeated. They got to the bowl game and got absolutely destroyed. There's a level of competition that they hadn't experienced yet.
Well, again,
I just looked up the top rankings from the season that we just finished. Okay. Yeah. And if it was going to go by the college football poll, the top 8 get in. Do you guys realize that an 8-4 Florida team makes the college football playoff?
Yeah.
They get in, but they're not going to be competitive. As much as I'm a Gator fan, they're not going to be competitive.
Like that Kyle Trask.
They've been beat 4 teams. They've been beat 4 times by teams other than 3 of those times were other than Alabama.
So here's the other thing. You're talking about teams, and I know this year's college football was way different, because of COVID. But top 12 teams, Iowa State at 9-3 is in the college football playoff. Indiana at 6-2 is in the college football playoff. But here's the kicker.
Indiana had a good season.
But they lost their last 2 games. They were undefeated. But then here's the kicker. Coastal Carolina, number 12.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this year was different because there was a large portion of conferences that didn't even play. A lot of them played in the spring, outside of the NCAA,
You're telling me that the University of Miami couldn't beat Coastal Carolina?
No, they did not beat Coastal
Carolina. They can beat them.
Well, they didn't because they didn't play, but I'm pretty sure the U goes into Coastal Carolina and stomps them.
All I'm saying is to me, more football is better. All right, I'm not gonna miss watching a game that is on for instead of doing something. Anyway, I'm gonna watch it if it's on.
No one's
But what
asking
I'm
for an additional, preseason game. That's football too. No one's asking for it. It's garbage football.
I'll watch it.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
But it's not because it's going to be the best teams. But what I'm saying is thinking long term. I'm tired of seeing Alabama and Clemson play every stinking year, right? If another team or from another conference that is getting some exposure is able to recruit and get better for the next 2-3 years to where now they're knocking out Clemson because they're legitimate, because of the fact they had a chance to play in a playoff system that exposed them to people that never would have heard of them and got them some revenue to be able to do these things. That's what I'm looking at.
Here's the other thing I think you're going to run into problems on. If we did it just the top 8, 4 of the top 8 were from the SEC.
That's fine. Now, you guys are thinking short term right now. You've got to think 5-10 years in the future. How is this going to look later? You're just thinking
the same as it looks 10 years ago.
It does
10
not
years
look
ago was the same thing.
10 years ago, it was
SEC
10 years ago, it was
SEC
Miami and
now.
Virginia Tech and Oklahoma and
You're going to the Wayback Machine. You're going
That's
30
20
years
years
to get
ago.
FSU
No, it
involved.
was going that back.
Whoa,
Oklahoma
whoa.
was
Yeah.
good. No, it's the here and now.
Hey,
Maybe that
Oklahoma
way.
was good last year. They were ranked 6th in the country.
There you go.
All right, listen. Moving on from apparently we should have had this conversation at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, maybe. You always do that.
It's not my fault. All right, 2 things. I know we're running out of time. Just real quick, anybody have any interest in Amazon Prime Day tomorrow?
I have interest in it. I don't know what's going to be on there tomorrow. I haven't looked at any preview sheets or like the Black Friday sales. I have no idea what they're going to advertise or what they're going to.
Are they selling any boats?
Nobody has any boats, bro. There are no boats. Boats are shortage. It's just so crazy. What is short right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, Kirby?
I'm thinking maybe like a Dyson or something.
Shark? Dude, you get way more quality out of a Shark for the money.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed. I got Shark. I got 2 of them actually.
Yeah.
And a Shark?
Right.
That's the brand
Shark.
name is the Shark?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very good, but you don't pay near what you pay for a Dyson.
Let me write that down.
We replaced our Shark with a Dyson.
Yep.
Listen, the
Saying.
vacuum I've
record.
had for 24 years.
Then buy that again. Then I would say
Yeah, how about it? If you got
if it worked that well, go
you
or
don't
get
mean
it
that
fixed.
little robot thing you got running around your place, do you?
No. That's
We do. I have ours. It's called Miss Doubtfire.
ours is called Rosie. Ours is called Rosie from the
Oh
Jetsons.
God!
No, I like that.
Can she make
All right,
food out of her bosom?
I talked to her. I'm like, "Hey, Miss Doubtfire, good morning." She's like,
I'm gonna look at Amazon Prime Day tomorrow, and I'll get back to you guys next Sunday. See if there's anything on there that I couldn't live without.
All right, I like it. All right, last thing. So apparently, Chef Javi, we debuted a new segment on the show last week with Chef Javi. Hopefully, you guys liked his little show
Tri-tip.
on how to do a tri-tip.
Tri-tip.
It was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So if you remember, we did Chicken Sandwich Wars a couple of weeks ago now, maybe 2 months ago now. And the overall grand champion of the Chicken Sandwich Wars was the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
Delicious.
Well, Javi wants to take a shot at Chick-fil-A. And he thinks he can prepare for us a better chicken sandwich than Chick-fil-A.
All right, I got a comment. All right. So then we got to make this a big blindfolded taste test.
Pat.
Yes.
CSG, you think they think any of us are gonna be fooled by a blindfold?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
You can't listen. You can't have loyalties. The only true way to do it is blind. That's the way we change this up.
I'll be honest. I won't have any
Blindfold.
bias.
You're not gonna fool me with a blindfold, my man. I know Chick-fil-A ain't there.
Prove it to the fans.
Listen,
Prove it to the
So
fans.
I text Javi back and I'm like, dude, you're really gonna take a run at Jesus Chicken. I don't know if you want to tempt that fate.
I attempted that fate a few years ago, and you remember what happened?
Yes.
We're sitting in the
Positive
parking lot at the
positive.
Rays game, and we got the tent up pre-gaming,
Oh,
and it's starting to,
man.
we have it tied down. It's tied down and staked down, the big cover. And I just said, I was talking to the wind. I just said, is that all you got? And that second later, it lifted up, landed on the Escalade that had their hatchback open next to us, destroyed its window. Next thing you know, the cops are involved, and that little short little girl was angry.
Listen,
They got
there's
out of
always
control
gonna
in a
be the
hurry.
people that say you can't do it, but just like the guy who ran and beat and went under 4-minute mile, you know what I mean? And now once one person does it, then there was a bunch of people that did it because people literally believe they can do it.
Hey,
Well,
Chaddy
I-
wants to make me a chicken
here's
sandwich.
what I
I'm going
will
to eat
say.
it. So
I
I'll
would
give it a
say,
shot.
Hobby wants to make something. I
Yeah.
will eat it. I'm not saying he's going to knock off Jesus chicken, but I don't think it will suck.
Exactly.
But
If-
who wins in this whole deal, Chief?
We win. I can tell you that. We win. What I just heard is 2 more chicken sandwiches going down.
2 more chicken sandwiches and content.
Yes.
And content, yeah.
And content.
So apparently, right now, Chef Javi is perfecting his technique or whatever
He's
you
doing
want to
the
call it.
Trial run this weekend.
There better be
All
a
right,
pickle on
and then
there.
we'll get over there. We'll videotape it for another segment, and we will tell you how it was going to play out.
You're not supposed to shake those, TSJ.
I don't know.
I
what's
know.
going
I just
on
got
there.
wetness all over my cheek. I'm pretty sure I have cancer.
Freeze your face.
I'm pretty sure it's cancer on my cheek.
Oh, man. All right.
I'll
We
freeze
have
it.
reached our time limit of fun for the evening.
Yes.
You are free now to go about your business and do whatever it is you wanted to do. So thank you for sticking around for us on this Father's Day. Go ahead and like this video if you like this kind of content. If you didn't like it, click that thumbs down button twice to really show us that you didn't like it. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon, which will let you know every single time we upload a video. Until then, we'll be back next week at 7 o'clock doing our thing. We'll see you then.
Happy
Say
Father's
goodnight,
Day.
Chief.
Good night.